All right, everyone. So Sami Zayn gave a very interesting response when asked about what his future with the bloodline is. He said this: I think the bloodline thing, because of the length of time for how long it's gone on now and the level of fan investment over the last few years, I feel like the closest thing I can kind of compare it to is my story with Kevin Owens, wherein it's sort of a story that I think is always going to be there. The previous question was asking Jay obviously has been doing tremendous things on his own. Does he want to go back into a team? Does he want to go and do this? What's the future for all the bloodline members? I don't know, but I think if we all drift in different directions, it's become this thing where you can always float back to the mothership. Just like me and Kevin have been telling a story for over 20 years, and somehow we always find each other in our crosshairs. We're very diligent, just as I think with the bloodline, with how we tell the story, we're very diligent, and about how we do it to make sure it's always piquing the fans' interest. So I don't have a definitive answer for you. I don't know, but it's definitely not the end. I don't know if this is like we're back and we're running just like we did 2 years ago, but it's never really gonna do be over because it's family. So I thought this was a very, open and telling response. He's being very honest about what he thinks is coming. But I did think it was interesting that, you're listening to what he's saying there, and it doesn't rule out this idea that the bloodline coming back in some form of like full force of them going out together, every week as a group. And I do think, I'm just going to put it out there, I think this version that we're seeing right now, maybe the best version, a version of the bloodline in which it's not just Roman Reigns as the tribal chief and then a bunch of guys who, support him. Sure, it looks like Roman Reigns is the leader, even if there weren't supposed to be leaders in this new thing. Sure. Okay, Roman is still in some ways the leader, but it just feels like everybody involved, from Sammy to Jay to Jimmy, it just feels like all of these guys kind of have their own ability to stand on their own 2 feet in a way, and it makes it so much stronger. Knowing that, especially after this match we saw tonight. I mean, they just all looked fantastic. Each and every one of them looked like they were big time stars, which they are. And so I think you could definitely have it both ways in terms of like you can have them go do their own thing and then come back. But I do think that for Sami Zayn and Jimmy Uso, Jey Uso, and Roman Reigns, I think when they're a part of this bloodline storyline, all in, it really seems to be, kind of their best stuff. It just really seems to be their best work. So I hope they do it. And maybe it's just my perspective on it, because certainly I know other people, may see things differently, but I just think when Sami Zayn is a part of this whole bloodline thing, it's when I'm most interested in him. It truly it becomes when I'm almost most interested in him. I think, I was even a little bit critical of what happened early on with this bloodline, the new version of it here, or the old version, but with everybody coming back with Sami Zayn's addition to it. But he really, changed my mind on some of it as well. If I'm being completely honest, I thought he was fantastic in this pay per view. I thought he was a fantastic addition to this team. And so I hope he stays in there. I hope it's an every week thing that, the bloodline comes out together. And I hope we get to run this thing back a little bit, because I think by what they've done, they've added so much to this story. And I cannot wait to see what goes on. So thank you all for watching.